and I can do this one as a clip too. But I was watching that movie, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and the thing that cracked me up is, and supposedly this whole thing is true. I wasn't there. I don't know. And but this kid was possessed. I mean, it was bad. And then it's a guy who basically wanted to bang this guy's older sister, who was pretty hot in the movie. I don't know what she was like in real life, but she was pretty hot in the movie. He told the demon or whatever to take him instead of the kid. Fucking stand up guy. Fucking just stand up guy doing that. Well, he ended up, because he did that, nobody knew. Because a little kid had knocked the priest out that was going to do the exorcism, and Lorraine Warren was kind of out disabled because when she tried to intervene, it attacked her husband, the demon and the kid, and she was disabled. She had like a headache or some shit like that, and Ed ended up in the hospital. They had to run like a stent to get blood flowing to his heart properly again. It was bad, and what happened was when he finally came to and recovered, he told his wife, what had happened. They didn't know. The priest didn't know. She didn't know, and she called the sheriff's department or the police, and she said, "Look, I know you're not going to want to believe me, but you have to get to this boarding house for pets." They ran like a pet hotel back in the 60s or the 70s or whatever, and 70s and 80s or whatever it was. And she goes, you got to get there right away or there's going to be a problem. Well, by the time the cops got there, he had killed the guy who owned the place. And so he was just covered in blood. He was stumbling down the road. And I just want to say one thing here, okay? I never noticed it. I've been like when I needed these villagers, I was bringing them from the ooh evil. Oh, you cheap bastard! You didn't even give me any drops. Okay, yeah, there you can see it. Like when I was back here, yeah, you can see it now. I think it's one of the updates has made the render distance better because I don't remember either that or I missed it. But I was like bringing these villagers from a long ways away whenever I needed them. And then I just noticed it now. It was after an update, so I think the update fixed it. I got a fucking village right over there. I got a fucking village all the way over there, and that pissed me off. So I've started. I'm getting around where I'm trying to link it to the 5x5 building system. I've got torches going so I can map it out, but I'm eventually gonna light that up if I got time. And this way, if I need, I want to get it lit up so it's safe. Because if I ever need more villagers, like if something goes, kitty wampus here, I want to be able to just quickly go over there and get some villagers. And well, anyways, the they were talking to the guy's defense lawyer, and they were trying to tell the defense or that she needed to basically use demonic possession as a defense. And this part, it was right in the beginning of the movie. This cracked me up because she's like, "Look, it's never been done," and he goes, "It's been done twice in Europe or in England or something like that. It's been overseas, but it's been used twice." She goes, "Okay, let me rephrase that. It's never been used successfully." And through the discussion with this defense lawyer, he said, "Look, the courts recognize God every time they swear somebody in. Every time somebody takes an oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth." He goes, "They recognize God because they ask you to swear to Him." This would have been before they allowed you to affirm or swear. So for the atheists or the people who didn't believe in Christianity, your Muslims and your atheists and shit. And he said it's about time they started acknowledging the devil too. If they're going to acknowledge, and really there's a little bit of common sense there. If the courts are going to acknowledge God, then they should acknowledge, the devil and angels and all this other bullshit. They probably shouldn't be acknowledging it, but if they're gonna, if it, so that, and then she's like, yeah, I just don't really blah blah blah, and she didn't want to do it, and he goes, well, I tell you what, why don't you come over to our house tonight, have some dinner, and he goes, we'll show you all the evidence, because they were saying, well, we've collected all this evidence. She goes, yeah, for the church. She goes, the standards in court are a little different. They're a little higher than what the court or what the church wants. And so what happened was, he goes, yeah, come on over, have dinner with us. We'll show you all our evidence. We'll introduce you to Annabelle. And he goes, and if you don't believe us at the end of that, hey, fair enough. No big deal. But he goes, we won't bug you anymore. But if not, you need to adopt us. Well, then the very next scene you see, she's in court, looking just scared shitless, and she's basically putting down the defense as demonic possession. And I'm thinking that's so fucking. I mean, if that's true, I think that's so fucking hilarious that they took her over and she got scared by their little voodoo collection, and so that was kind of cool. And then at the end of the movie, and this is all based, this is all based on what's going on. He was convicted, but like right after she announced that it was defense by demonic possession, she went in and she went out of the courtroom and told Ed and Lorraine, she goes, I really hope you guys can deliver on what you said you were going to do, because she said they are, they're going for the death penalty. And death penalty, life in prison, that's what was on the table. That's what the prosecution was going for. Well, at the end of it, they saved his life from the bullshit, but at the end of it, he got convicted of manslaughter, spent 5 years in jail. I would consider that personally a moral victory. Not a true victory, but a moral one, because this guy was looking at the death penalty and life in prison, and they apparently showed enough evidence to sway that jury to where he only got 5 years in jail. And he was convicted of a much lesser fine. I would say I would consider that evidence that, maybe the jury believed him a little bit. Or that maybe the jury believed him completely, but still thought he should spend a little time in jail to send a message that, if you do this, even if you were possessed, you're still going to have to go to jail, because we don't want this to become like, this would have been before it, but we don't want the Twinkie defense where somebody can say they got fucking high on a Twinkie and fucking killed a whole bunch of people or whatever it is. They wanted some accountability to make sure that if somebody did do this, that it was real, because they knew they weren't going to get away with it. They were going to spend some time in jail. But yeah, watching that movie last night, that was fucking hilarious. That did crack me up. And she goes, "Yeah, come on over. We'll fix you dinner. If you look at our evidence and you don't believe it," because she asked him, she goes, "How are you going to convince a jury when you can't even convince me?" And then you saw her in court just sweating, just nervous, and going, "Oh, yeah, I'll they really rattled. If that's accurate, they really rattled her. And I just found that funny. I absolutely found that funny. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call this stream. I don't know if I'll get back on later. I think if I get back on, I'll do it tomorrow. And hope everybody has a good day. Hope you had a good Christmas. And like I said, all this week, if you guys could just, send me that positive energy to win that lottery, I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hope everybody has a good day.